Hey guitar players, welcome back to the Guitar in a Year, Beginner to Intermediate. I'm your instructor Corey Hicks, and today we're back on the acoustic for week number 14. We'll probably be on the acoustic for the next couple of weeks as we start incorporating some of the basic rhythm and strumming techniques that are required for basic rhythm guitar. I'm also going to be asking you guys to try and purchase a capo. A capo is going to help us to move some of our open position chords to other places on the neck. It's going to help you to move things to different keys, and there's a lot of wonderful things that you can do with just a capo and an acoustic guitar. Alright, the first thing we're going to talk about today is going to be our open E chord. This is one of the most common chords on the guitar, and it's going to be the basis for the bar chords that we learn later on in the course. And it looks like this. The way we're going to play this chord is our middle finger is going to be on the A string at the 2nd fret, our ring finger is going to be on the D string on the 2nd fret, and our pointer finger is going to be on the G string on the 1st fret. All 6 strings are used when we play this chord. Just like we learned all of our other chords, what you're going to do is get all your fingers into position, play through each one of the strings to make sure that they are clean and we don't have any buzzing or weird sounds happening. Remove the hand and then put it back as quickly as possible. Each one of these is going to be 1 repetition, and I usually recommend 25 repetitions of this. Next, we're going to be talking about the A major chord. There's a few different ways to play this chord on the guitar, but we're going to be talking about it in this form. My middle finger is going to be on the D string on the 2nd fret, my ring finger is going to be on the G string at the 2nd fret, and my pinky is going to be on the B string at the 2nd fret. The open A and open E are both used, but the low E is not used. Although if you do happen to hit it, it's not the end of the world, it is in the chord, but for our purposes today, we're going to be learning this as a 5-string chord. And that sounds like this. Now, the other way is to play this chord. I could have used my first 3 fingers, but I find that there's more of a chance of buzzing one of the strings because the index finger is, of course, going to be wider and thicker than the pinky. The other reason is because when we start moving these up the neck, here's A major, B major, C major, we are going to use the form that I showed you today. So there's some logic behind it. When I was a kid, I would make this little triangle shape and sandwich all my fingers in here, which is also something you could do. And then a lot of players will just use 1 finger and bar everything. Of course, doing it this way, you are going to lose access to the high E string. But I do prefer using these 3 fingers. Also, it's really easy to switch between the low E chord and that A using that method. The E chord and the A chord will very often be used together. They're in each other's keys. So the E chord is in the A major key, and the A major chord is in the E major key. So they're often used together. So it's a really good idea to get used to playing both of these chords like this. Make sure that you can get all the strings to ring on the guitar. Next, what we're going to do is start learning a couple new strumming patterns on the guitar. Now, the first one is going to be a very simple 1, 2, 3, and 4 and. So I'm going to demonstrate this strumming pattern for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4 and. So when you're practicing this, it might be a good idea to do it without the metronome at first. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 and. Our ands are going to be played by upstrokes with the pick. So down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. And then when I go to the A chord, I'm just going to repeat the same strumming pattern. However, I'm not going to use the low E string. So again, that count is going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, Let's try this with the metronome and see how it goes. 2, 3, 4. All right, very good. Let's talk about our second strumming pattern that we're going to learn today. This one does incorporate something we call syncopation. Syncopation is when we're going to be focusing on the upbeat. For some people, this can be a little bit of a challenge in the beginning. It's going to be focusing on the ands of these notes. So if I do 1 and 3, 4, that's going to be our second strumming pattern for today. So I'm going 1 and, there is no 2, and 3, 4. 2 is implied, it's not played. So the way that this would sound is like this: 1 and 3, 4. 3 and 4 are going to happen where they normally would, it's just there's no striking of the strings on 2. So we're basically going to be making the upbeats the important part. So let's hear this with the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, up, down, 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 up, down, down. 1 and 3, 4. 1 and 3, 4. 1 and 3, 4. 1 and 3, 4. All right, so you can practice those strumming patterns with any of the chords that you already know on the guitar. It's going to be really essential for you to practice various strumming patterns to get used to different rhythms. This way, when you want to learn songs that already use these rhythms, you already have them practiced. One of the things that we're going to be focusing on for the rest of the year is going to be developing skills that are going to be ready to be used whenever we want to learn a song that has that particular skill in it. Meaning we're going to be preparing for things. If you want to learn a song in August that uses this strumming pattern, you might want to start practicing that strumming pattern a few months in advance. You don't want every song you learn to be brand new material, because then you might get frustrated. Remember, all of these musical skills are going to be like a little toolkit that we're going to be using to learn songs later on. The whole purpose of this course is to prepare you so that when you want to learn songs at the intermediate level, you have the majority of the skills already under your belt. Last week we talked about power chords. So today we're going to be using a brand new exercise to get more facility with the power chords. Let's start off with that F power chord that we learned at the first fret. We also learned power chords on the A string. So what I'm going to be doing is going back and forth between the low E power chord at the first fret and the A chord at the first fret. That's my F power chord. That's my B flat power chord if you're remembering the names of the notes at those particular frets. And then I'm going to go at a diagonal to the second fret on the low E, second fret at the A, diagonal to the third fret on the low E, then up to the A, diagonal to the fourth, up to the A, diagonal to the fifth, up to the A, diagonal to the sixth, up to the A, and the seventh, eighth, ninth, and the 10th. We'll stop at the 10th. So this is how this exercise would look. A little faster. You can do a lot of different exercises like this to kind of increase your facility with anything that we're working on. The goal here is that we want any of these basically 24 power chords to be accessible at any time. This is going to help us to, of course, learn songs faster. Also with the power chords, we're going to be learning a new song today. This is going to be U2's With or Without You. This song is going to use the 4 chords chord progression that we learned last week. D power chord at the 5th fret, A power chord at the 5th fret, B minor power chord at the 7th fret, and our G power chord at the 3rd fret. Then you're going to set your metronome for 110 beats per minute, and it's going to sound like this. This is the intro. So what I'm doing here is I'm palm muting back here by the bridge. So again, kind of like you're karate chopping the bridge. Okay? And then I'm going to be doing this intro here, which is only a couple measures long. So when you pull up the song to practice, it'll just sound like this. 2, 3, 4. Now the progression starts. 2, 3, 4. So what I want you to do is pull up that song, either YouTube, Apple Music, or Spotify, or your old vinyl records if you have them, and play along with U2's With or Without You. Aside from that intro being just the 1 chord, meaning that D power chord, you'll get a feel for when the chord progression starts. And I want you to play along with that song all the way to the end. Nothing changes. It's just going to be that 1 chord progression palm muted. What this is going to do is going to help you develop the accuracy and the stamina to be able to get through a power chord song all the way to the end. Now, of course, there's other elements to the song. There are little sound effects in the background. The Edge has actually recorded a couple of different guitar tracks for the song, so the acoustic playing the power chords is not the only part of the song. So when you hear these other elements, just feel like they're other members of the band filling in the rest of the song, and just focus on your job, which is holding down the rhythm. All right. Next week, we're going to be back on the acoustic. Hopefully you have your capo by then, because we're going to be talking about how to use a capo. We're also going to be incorporating some brand new exercises with the picking hand so we can develop some 16th note picking strategies. I hope you have a great week. Again, I'm Corey Hicks. We'll see you back here next week for week number 15. Peace.